coming in India. Dr. Rajesh Bhardwaj, if I could come to you, do you also think, concur with the other doctors, what they have to say that, is there no reason to believe that this sort of virus cannot be transmitted from, pigs to humans? Is there no reason to worry at all?
I think Kitty 1 virus is good enough for us right now. The second one is a cause for worry for pigs, not for humans.
Okay. All right, point taken there. All right, Dr. Rajesh Bhardwaj. So all our viewers who are watching this broadcast, there is no reason to worry. There is no reason to panic. As Dr. Rajesh Bhardwaj here has been mentioning also, and we all share the same concern. There is coronavirus that we are battling, that we are dealing with already, and that's already taken a toll on the mental health also of a lot of people. There is a lot of stress and panic that people are dealing with. So this new virus that we're talking about, African swine flu, we do hope that it's the governments are able to contain that in that very specific region so that it doesn't spread to other regions. But anyway, let's now take our next story here. British researchers have linked being male or obese to lower COVID-19 survival rates in a study conducted in UK. Now, this study says that obese people could be at greater risk because they have reduced lung function and their immune systems may also overreact. The study found that being male or obese is a significant factor associated with deaths in UK hospitals, and that those who have poor outcomes are more often elderly, male and obese. Dr. Rajesh Bhardwaj, if I could come back to you, what do you think? Is obesity a deadly risk factor here?
So that's a very relevant point, and I'm glad you brought this up because these are two things we need to understand. The obese as well as the elderly are at much higher risk for developing a serious form of the disease as well as complications related to the disease. And there are reasons for that. For the obese, their entire system, their metabolic system is under so much of stress that even a little bit of infection can upset the whole balance. Not only that, I have been in touch and contact with my friends in the US, one of whom is a senior anesthesiologist who's working out of New Jersey. And his main observation to me was that the obese patients, once they've been put on the ventilator, it's very difficult for them to be weaned off the ventilator, and that their complication rate is much, much higher. For the elderly, we understand that as we grow older, our pre-existing or so-called comorbidities increase. So we have hypertension, we have diabetes, we have concomitant heart disease. And so our danger of falling prey to complications related to the disease increased tremendously. And that is why mortality rate the world over has been higher amongst the elderly people. And that's why Italy had a very, very high mortality rate, because in the zones in which the infection spread, the elderly population was a much higher percentage.
Okay. All right. Okay. Dr. Rajesh Bhardwaj, what do you say about that? Could there be more symptoms that we are not aware of? Because last time also we checked, there were some more symptoms that were added to, in relation to coronavirus. The WHO, of course, has mentioned a list of symptoms, but there were a lot of other symptoms also that were added up later that came out to be, in relation to coronavirus that, many people did not even know about. Could there be more to it?
So if you remember, Kitty, we had this discussion and the CDC brought out an additional list of symptoms that the WHO primarily said patients with fever, cough and breathlessness would be considered to be suffering from COVID-19. But the CDC as well as the American Association of Pulmonologists brought out a new list of symptoms, including loss of sense of smell and taste, fever with chills and rigors, abdominal upset, nausea and vomiting. And these were added on to the symptoms so that we could test these patients also with the symptoms. This new syndrome that has come in children, honestly speaking, the study size is so small. It's just about 25 to 30 children in UK. It has been in evidence that in the last about nearly a week or 10 days, we've been hearing about these instances. You must understand, we are in such a hurry nowadays to know so fast about everything. Normally science works, true science works much, much slower than this. And it actually takes months to years before we can really find out the significance of this. But to truly answer your question, this is like a Kawasaki disease or an acute toxic shock syndrome that children are suffering from. They start off with fever and body rash. It develops into the tongue. There are some swellings in the oral cavity. And then it spreads to the rest of the body, including the coronary blood vessels. The treatment usually is intensive care and as well as with corticosteroid, because this is an accelerated autoimmune response in children.
All right, Dr. Rajesh Bhardwaj, thanks very much for clearing that up for us. Rajesh Bhardwaj, if I could come to you. Dr. Pai, I'll come to you.
So if we start with the peg of the story is what the president had announced. If you understand, he's been announced this earlier along with his medical director. He's called this Operation Warp Speed. And this is not the first time that the American president, standing on the podium, has announced a fast-track vaccine trial. This happened once earlier in 1976 also, when swine flu was detected in the US. And President Ford at that time said that we will fast-track and make a vaccine, and we will inoculate and vaccinate our population as soon as possible, and millions of people will be vaccinated. But that turned out to be a bit of a fiasco. There were side effects and complications. So in our effect, we understand that this is a global emergency and we need a vaccine as soon as possible. But in our desire to create a vaccine, we do not want to create a situation where we cause more harm than good. More importantly, if you understand what is happening the world over, particularly in a movement led from the US, is the anti-vaxxers movement, where for the first time, more and more cases of diseases which could be vaccinated against, patients are coming in, children are suffering from measles because of the anti-vaxxers. We do not want to give anti-vaxxers any more ammunition by going so fast ahead with our need to produce a vaccine that we go wrong in this search. And if you just give me half a minute, I'll go back to the first question that you asked about males being more, and there is that recent research which I wanted to share with you, that there is a higher incidence of ACE2 receptors in the testes as compared to the ovary. There is a speculation. There is a speculation only that because of the higher concentration of ACE2 receptor in the testes, that males may take longer to recover from this illness as compared to females, because the virus lodges there and viral load recovery takes longer.
All right. Dr. Rajesh Bhardwaj, Dr. Indra Maurya also for joining us on this broadcast and sharing those valuable inputs with us. Thank you so much. Appreciate.